Chuck Shoot Podcast. Thanks for checking us out. We have Matt James of Blacktop Mojo on today. So this is another great newer rock band that has shared a stage with everyone from Papa Roach to Bon Jovi. The band is extremely talented, and you can really tell how good of a singer Matt is because of the way he can sing the covers so flawlessly. Not many people can sing Steven Tyler and Robert Plant so perfectly. They also have really great original songs, and although I've never seen them live personally, the stuff I've seen on YouTube definitely makes me want to catch one of their live shows really soon. So learn all about Matt and the band in this interview. Here it is. Welcome, Matt James, singer, guitarist, songwriter of Blacktop Mojo. How you doing today?
Doing good, brother. How are you?
Great, just great. Yeah, it's a little cloudy over here in Phoenix, but still warm enough to be outside and such.
Right on, brother.
It's
raining over here, man.
And you're still in Texas, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're born and raised in small town Texas, a town called Rusk. Is that right? Did I get that right?
Yeah, I grew up there for sure. Yeah.
Grew up there. So tell me about Texas before we get into the music stuff. I'm just curious about Texas. I mean, that's like a whole nother culture. I mean, I went to Austin, but I feel like I didn't get the real Texas experience. Like you got the Southern accent and everything. So explain some of this like lingo. Like I want to quiz you. Like what does the phrase "all hat, no cattle" mean? I've never heard that before.
All hat, no cattle would mean be like your rhinestone cowboy. You know, your guy that dresses like a cowboy, but his boots are not dirty. You know.
Okay, so he's got the look, but not the all talk, no action kind of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, just another way.
No walk. Yeah.
What about all get out? What does that mean?
All get out. I've never heard that one, man. You got me there.
Oh, that okay. What about might could? Is that one you've heard?
Yeah, the might could.
What does that mean?
It means we might be able to do that, you know.
But
we
what
might
could. Okay, it's just like two words. Okay, fun. And then I was curious about this one. Bless your heart, because people say that. But doesn't it also mean like you say that kind of like sarcastically, like, oh, like bless his heart because he's not so bright, right?
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's kind of a polite way to polite F you to somebody. You know?
Oh, that's funny. So yeah, so tell me about you. You grew up with the music. I heard you say you only had 2 radio stations coming through your clock radio. It was either country music or the Spanish music, and so you picked country. So is that was a lot of your early influences, right?
Yeah, man. Growing up in Rusk, there wasn't a whole lot of different music. It was that and whatever CD my parents had in their vehicle. You know, they were a big 80s rock, 70s, classic rock listeners. So AC/DC and Van Halen, and my mom really loved hair metal, Bon Jovi, Rat,
nice.
Scorpions,
love all that stuff. And then and so you like that, you like the blues, like Robert Johnson, Skinner, Marshall Tucker, the Southern, but then you got into the 90s stuff too, like Soundgarden, Alice in Chains, Tool.
Yeah, I got into that kind of late in life, actually.
Okay.
I'd always heard it, on rock stations and stuff, and I always liked it, but I never really sunk my teeth into it until later in life,
So who is your number one? Who do you think the best singer of all time, and who's the best guitarist? If you had to pick one.
Ooh, man. Chris Cornell is probably my top singer, I think.
He got a new album come out today. Have you heard that?
He did, man. All the covers, I haven't got to listen to it
Good
yet,
stuff. It's dark, but okay. And then for guitars, what would you say for guitarist?
Guitars. Probably a tie between Eddie Van Halen or Jimi Hendrix.
Oh yeah, 2 amazing people. There's so many. And then
Stevie Ray. Yeah.
Stevie
Ray Vaughan.
Gosh, he was so good. Amazing. Died too young.
Absolutely, man. Don't fly helicopters.
I guess not. Well, the story was it was Eric Clapton's helicopter, right? And he said, "Oh no, you can get in this and go." I wonder if he did that on purpose. Like, oh, I'm the best guitarist. You're gonna die now.
That's dark.
But yeah. You started playing guitar at 15. Did you was it listening to all this music kind of influenced you to pick it up and did you start practicing yourself or did you take lessons or anything or?
I taught myself, man. I'm still not that good. I'm not a great teacher, I guess. But I always I got a guitar for Christmas, I think, one year, when I was probably 13, 14. And it kind of just sat in the corner of the room, and I could pick it up and play Smoke on the Water, or,
What about the singing? Yeah. Did you take singing lessons, or like, did you teach yourself how to sing? Cause you're really good at that.
Yeah, I taught myself to just kind of, whenever I was home alone, I would kind of just try to belt out and try to emulate different songs. Shinedown's Leave a Whisper album came out when I was in high school, and that was a big one that really I would try to emulate Brent Smith's vocals on those records and stuff.
So you weren't in the marching band or choir or anything like that, because you were a jock in high school, right?
Yeah, I played all the sports, none of them very well, but
well, wait. Yeah. So you went to Northwestern State. Didn't you play college there? College football, O-line?
Yeah. I walked on over there, and I played a little bit for a few years over there. But,
okay. You just walked on. You didn't get a scholarship or anything?
No scholarship. But made the team and practice squad for a few years. But,
oh, that's pretty cool. Did you didn't get to travel with the team though, or?
Yeah, I got to travel a couple of times. Actually got to play LSU the year that they went to the national championship. We were their tune-up game for the first game of the year.
So I always wondered about those kind of things. Like, I mean, what is it like playing the best of the best, and you're a smaller school? I mean, isn't that almost dangerous for because some of the kids are probably smaller, not as big as the LSU players?
Well, I mean, we had a lot of athletes. I mean, we had quite a few guys, not quite a few, but a few guys go to the league after school.
Okay, wow.
Jeremy Lane played for the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah,
for 10 years.
I'm a Seahawks fan. Okay,
yeah.
I remember that name.
I played with Jeremy Lane. So,
very cool.
Him, and then Deion Simmons. He went on to play defensive tackle for the Jets. And
wasn't there a kid named Cody Glenn too that played at that?
That was he played in Rusk.
Okay.
He played for the Colts for a few years. So as far as that goes, we got our ass kicked, of course. I mean, they have the best football players in the world playing, and we were D1, but we were D1 AA, so it's a smaller school,
totally different,
smaller talent pool, but yeah.
Okay.
So you get your ass kicked, but
still a cool experience to say you played against those guys. Do you remember? Was there any famous people at LSU that you played against?
Tyrann Mathieu and Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, the honey!
There.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
We were playing them. Yeah, that's neat. That's pretty wild.
So you go to Northwestern, you graduate, and you get your degree in biomedical science. So you're a smart guy. So then you ended up working at this coffee shop, right? And you would sing there. And that's when your drummer, Nathan Gillis, heard you singing, and he felt like he was a kind of like an AR rep, looked like discovering you, like this guy's going to make it. And so he reached out to you and said, we got to team up and work together and start a band.
Absolutely. That's pretty much how it works, man. We met up with each other at a Cody Johnson concert. It's a country concert up in Tyler, and we were both drunk as hell. And I'm surprised that I was like, "Hey, man, I'm playing at the coffee shop the next day." And he remembered to show up. He showed up with a couple of his buddies, and just like you said, he scouted me. He was like, "That's the guy."
Wow.
That's how he'd tell the story for sure.
Okay, very cool. So you formed the band. Now explain this the story about how the band name came about. So you guys do this thing in Texas where it sounds like basically you're drinking and driving. You're driving down the back roads and drinking booze, and you were stirring your drink with this piece of I had to look this up. I didn't know what a duck decoy was. It was called Mojo. And then where did the blacktop, just because of the road or whatever, you kind of thought about that?
Yeah, man. It's a little bit hazy, actually. We've been trying to as you can imagine with the drinking and the driving. Yeah. But, we've been trying to come up with a band name for like 2 or 3 weeks. This was after the night that he came to the coffee shop, and we went back to his house, and he played the drums for me and stuff. And he's an amazing drummer. And
sure,
Don't tell him I said that. But no.
Okay.
But we decided to start a band, and so we'd been trying to come up with a band name. And I showed up at his house and was waiting for him to get off of work. And 2 of his buddies came out of the house with a handle of Jim Beam, and we left and didn't come back for a few hours. You know what I'm saying? And so by the time we got back, we were all just slurring Blacktop Mojo.
So wait, somebody's the DD when you're doing these back roads drinking, right? Or
kinda. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
someone drinks less at least, or
the driver drinks less.
Okay.
For sure.
All right. Well, that's better than. I mean, and these are back roads, so there's not as many people and cars and things.
There's no people. There's no
cars. Okay.
You know.
All right. Just the animal. Do you have to worry about animals though?
You'd be lucky to come across 10 cars in 2 hours or whatever.
Wow. Okay, I gotcha. So then, how did you meet the rest of the band, the bass player and the 2 guitar players? I think you switched one of the guitar players later, but
yeah, the bass player was a friend of Nathan's.
Okay.
And the guitar player was the guy that I went to school with. Our first guitar player, his name was Kenneth Erwin, and he'd played in a bunch of metal bands and stuff. When we were in high school, and I just I knew he could shred a little bit, and I called him up and I asked him if he wanted to come jam with us. So the owner of the coffee shop would actually let us, when we very first started, would let us basically close down the coffee shop and just jam in there for a few hours every night after it shut down. So
okay,
the 3 of us would sit in there and just jam for a few hours. And
yeah, so talk about that, because you started playing country songs and like honky tonk music, and then you kind of developed your sound, which you call Southern grunge. It's kind of like Skinner meets Soundgarden. So what was the moment that you kind of decided to switch from country to more rock?
Yeah, well, we've been playing and doing bar gigs and stuff for a few years, and bar gigs, basically, you play for 4 hours and you play covers mostly, and you figure out just how to fill the time, so you're just playing anything and everything you could think of. And but we started writing our own music, and most of it was more heavy, kind of hard rock, in that hard rock vein,
Sure.
So after we recorded our first album in 2014, we just decided, hey man, like, let's go all in on the rock thing, because that's really all what we like, and that's what we write, and that's so we just started traveling to Dallas and Houston and Austin, and like anywhere we could play in rock clubs, because those are the kind of the closest places.
Sure.
And being in Palestine, we're kind of a couple hours from all of those places. So it really worked out in our favor, being kind of in the middle of nowhere, but still
close enough to these multiple big cities. Okay. So talk about the band's look, because I feel like that's a huge part of being in a rock band. I mean, maybe less with MTV. There's no MTV, and Spotify is really big, but then in a way it's kind of more so because they got the social media and the YouTube. So is the band's look designed on purpose? Like, your beard definitely stands out. People are not going to forget that. Is there a conscious effort to look a certain way? Or is this just how you guys would look without being in a rock band?
This is definitely how I would look without being in a rock band. I quit shaving like 12 years ago, and I just never looked back. But no, I mean, we really don't. I mean, if it's like a music video or something, we might try to dress a certain way, or wear a certain thing. But or like if we're playing on big festivals, I like to kind of wear some wild shit, Like, I wore this our very first festival we played up in Wisconsin was Rockfest.
Yeah.
And I wore this like furry vest that we had.
Really?
We had made this tour announcement, and it was like a Game of Thrones themed tour announcement.
Okay.
I look kind of like the guy from Game of Thrones or whatever. So we were kind of
I could see that.
But yeah, so I had this furry vest. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna wear this.
Because that stuff stands out. People remember that.
Okay, man. But it turned out to work out in our favor, because we were standing in the parking lot later, and Sean Morgan from Seether was smoking a cigarette, and I'm a pretty big Seether fan. But I walked up, and he was like, "You're the dude. You were the dude in the furry vest." He said, "You guys,
yeah,
you sounded pretty good."
Yeah, that's
or whatever.
Yeah, you stand out. So like, I mean, I feel like I could do a whole interview just on your beard. Like, how long does it take to get that? I mean, you said 12 years, and then what kind of maintenance do you have to do? Like, do you have to oil it or shampoo and conditioner, like your head hair, or what do you have to do with that?
Yeah, I use this company out of Bastrop, Texas, makes this badass beard oil and wax and stuff. They're called Hungry Wolf Beard Company.
Are you sponsored by them or?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, awesome. Very cool.
They're buddies of mine. And, but yeah, just trimming it up. It's a lot longer than it has been. No quarantine, you know. Hadn't been going anywhere.
Right. Yeah. You know, so yeah, I mean, you have such a manly look. I know that sometimes people want to start a fight with the biggest guy, like the toughest looking guy in the bar. Does that ever happen to you? Like where you're just in a bar and people just want to start a fight with you just because you look like tough?
Maybe a few times. Like, I don't know, but I've never actually been in a bar fight or anything like that.
Oh, so. Really? So how would you handle if someone tried to start stuff with you? Just talk them down, or?
I guess, man. I mean, if I'd fight if I had to, but I've never really had to. You know? Nobody's really ever come at me like that. So.
Yeah, because how tall are you?
I'm 5'10".
Oh, okay, but you got, I mean, you got the bulk for sure. So it's like no one's gonna screw with you.
I'm not super big.
Yeah.
Tall.
So you guys, you spent a few years, you cut your teeth in the dive bars, you did the dance halls, the honky tonks. Is it true that one time you did a show for 0 people in Virginia? Explain to me what happened there. Why was there 0 people?
I don't know, man. It was it's a college town it's Morgantown, West Virginia. It's where WVU is.
Okay.
And, I don't know. It was move-in weekend and stuff, and there's all these clubs and stuff, and I guess like just we were playing kind of in this back room, like to where you couldn't get like foot traffic or anything like that.
Oh.
And, like, we'd never been through there. It was our first tour, man, and it was move-in weekend, so all these kids are just wanting to go out and like dance, party, and stuff like that. And I don't know, man. It just.
You still get paid?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
well, then who cares?
Yeah.
That sucks, though.
You know, that couple $100 or whatever guarantee, and you move on down the road. But yeah, sometimes it just happens like that, man.
Sure.
You never know what's going on in a town, you know?
So you kept going because you had that first album, like you said, I Am, in 2014. But then in 2017, you decided that you guys are going to go all in for the Burn the Ships album. And you hired Jimmy Johnson, who's like really famous producer, worked with the Rolling Stones and Skynyrd and Bob Seger. And also, this was crazy. You all quit your day jobs and you moved into a house together. I mean, do you think that helped catapult the band by quitting your job, or do you have any regrets on that decision?
Absolutely not, man. I think it's the best thing we ever did.
Mm-hmm.
It forced us to figure out how to make a living playing music, and everybody was on the same page, you know. Mm-hmm. It put everybody on an even playing field. There was no like, hey man, I can't do this anymore because I can't pay my rent. It's like, this is our rent. This is our thing. Everybody wants the same thing. So I think it was the best thing we ever did, for sure. You guys felt like you were kind of on that verge because you were being paid musicians to travel and do all these different shows. And you just felt like if you just quit the day jobs, then you could just do more music stuff. Yeah, this was before that, man. So like we were just playing this is pretty much just playing on the weekends and stuff. Okay. And then like I don't remember like planning out the timing of it really, but it was like 2 weeks before we went to record our second record. Okay. And then, it's ballsy. After we recorded that, we got hooked up with our publicist, Tom George, and he helped us find a manager, and like we kind of put our first tour together and did our first radio single and did all that kind of stuff, and just kind of to build from there. You know? So that album, I mean, you got a couple radio hits on there, Where the Wind Blows, and then your cover of Aerosmith's Dream On,
which is blew it up on YouTube. Your friend suggested you do that. Now I'm not a professional singer, but I do karaoke every now and then. I always stay away from Aerosmith, and especially Dream On, because that's got to be one of the hardest songs to sing of all time. I mean, I don't even think Steven Tyler can do it anymore, but you nailed it. So how do you nail it like that? Does that take a lot of practice, or is that just come natural to you, or how does that work?
Man, it was kind of a fluke. I'd never really sang that song before. We went out to go record it. And the vocals was of course the last thing that we put on it. And I was just sitting out there, and the first few times I went for it, it was kind of like, it wasn't really there.
Okay.
And I don't know, man, just sort of came out,
So because that was with the Jimmy Johnson producer, right? So does he help you, like coach you or give you tips on how to do that and get the best out of you?
Well, that one in particular, that's with our longtime producer, Philip Mosley.
Oh, that's with Mosley. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Jimmy helped us on Burn the Ships.
Okay.
On a few songs. And then, but Phil's really like kind of our, it's like a silent
six member
band. Yeah. Yeah. He kind of knows how to put it together. But
gotcha.
yeah, I mean, we had gotten it, close, you know what I mean? And he was like, he put it in like auto tune or whatever, so you could just see how close it was, because it'll tell you like how many cents off of the note you are,
wow,
stuff in that program. And then I was like, no, you can't fucking auto tune that,
So it's not auto tune. That's actually you singing.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's awesome.
But you can't do that, you know what
right.
I mean?
Well, yeah, because
that's cheating, man.
Yeah. No, and the song that you guys do a cover of "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins, and you harmonize this perfectly with your guitar player. But it looks like you guys are kind of just fucking around, like you're just kind of playing, like you didn't really. And it got 5 million views on YouTube. I mean, did you think it was going to blow up like that? Because it seems so casual, like just like an off the cuff. Hey, let's do the song. What the heck?
No, I mean, yeah, that's basically what it was, man. I mean, that's why there's like a whole minute and a half of our guitar players just talking.
Yeah.
Before we even start the song.
Okay.
We were just in there and we were half lit and just having fun, man.
Okay. Well, geez. And then another song I was going to ask you about, one of my favorites, which is not, I don't think you released it as a single or anything, but Pyromaniac. That is such a good song. It was not a single, but it's such a good like build in the song and the lyrics. What inspired that song? Is that actually about a pyromaniac, or is that some sort of like metaphor for something?
It's a metaphor for, I was dating a girl at the time, and I kind of just felt like she had a good job and, good life. And she was supportive of the band thing, but I always felt like I was kind of a burnout, for lack of a better term, like I wasn't doing enough or going anywhere fast enough,
Really?
So that was just kind of that emotion of like, you're watching me burn out and,
Okay. Wow. So you didn't burn out, because in the Burn the Ships album, that's when you started doing these opening shows for some really big bands, Bon Jovi, Candlebox, Puddle of Mud. You got to do the Sammy Hagar's Rock and Roll Road Trip. So tell me about in Dallas, you said opening for Bon Jovi was like jumping out of an airplane. You won a competition. You beat out all the local bands. The management picked you. So how many, do you know how many bands that you beat out to get that spot?
It was probably like 100, 150, something like that. I mean, there was, they were doing that contest in every city, that they went to. And they had at least, they had to have at least 100 submissions from every city, I think is what they said. I mean,
that's cool.
There was a lot. I mean, it was a huge opportunity. It was crazy, man. I mean, opening up in a sold out arena for Bon Jovi.
Yeah. So how was that? I know I had Less Than Jake on here. They actually toured opening for Bon Jovi, and they said it was tough because people are going there, sometimes they don't show up until later, because the opening band starts a little earlier. Were people showing up on time for that show, or was it kind of later?
Yeah, man. It was the cool thing about that they didn't have like a like you weren't the first of 3 bands or 4 bands or something like that. Like you got to play right before Bon Jovi went on stage. That was the whole thing.
Oh, okay. That's good. Yeah.
So that they could give the most, exposure and everything. That was like his whole thing. They really planned it out where they really wanted to help these unsigned bands and stuff like that. And so yeah, we got to play our set was probably 20 minutes before they went on stage.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then that's probably pretty. And you got to meet the band or Bon Jovi?
Yeah, we got to meet John and talk to him for a few minutes, and he was really cool, man. He told us a story about them the first time they had a big arena show or whatever, I guess. They opened up for ZZ Top in Madison Square Garden.
That would be fun.
He said that when they went up on stage that Richie Sambora's guitar didn't work. Like they went to go into the first song and just silence, and then he said the crowd just started chanting ZZ Top, ZZ Top, ZZ Top.
That sucks.
And it was basically like, hey, if we made it through that, and then you guys will be fine tonight, type of thing,
Yeah, it sounds like it went.
I'm sure we all looked nervous as shit, man, because that was at that point we had only played in front of probably 200 people, and there was supposed to be 20,000 plus there that night, so it was a large jump.
So then do you have to have a few drinks to kind of calm yourself down before that, or?
They actually had a policy where like you weren't allowed alcohol backstage.
Oh.
So I guess maybe they had like a bad experience with bands maybe or something. But
so you just had to fight your nerves.
Yeah, you had to go up there stone cold sober. That's why it was cool though, man. It's like the house lights went down. You could hear all these people screaming and stuff, and the production manager was like shining light on the stage and was like, "Good luck, boys," and like
that's really cool.
It was really cool, man. That's why I described it as like jumping out of an airplane.
Yeah,
as soon as those lights came up,
adrenaline.
Like, all the nerves but the adrenaline like kicked in, and it was just like this weird calm that came over everybody, like, and we just went through our set, and it was like, that was cool, man.
That sounds amazing. So you come off the road, and then you guys, now you're working on the Under the Sun album. Like you said, that was with your friend Philip Mosley. So explain to me what this means. It's something about, it's like a biblical reference. The title Under the Sun is a biblical reference to King Solomon trying to find happiness in all the wrong places and nothing new under the sun. Everything's been done before.
Yeah. Like, it's basically everybody goes through this. Everybody makes these same mistakes. And all the songs on the album are kind of, lyrically are about, me, personal experience of me making those same mistakes pretty much. And
like what mistakes did you make? What do you mean?
Just with like women and wine and, sex, drugs, rock and roll,
Okay. Just trying to find happiness.
Just your typical, mid-20s mistakes where you're just, a single guy out on the town. And,
but now
maybe overindulging a little bit too.
Are you still making those mistakes, or have you sorted it all out now?
No, man, I feel like I'm a little bit better.
Okay.
Definitely not making those mistakes as much. And
okay.
Got a good girl now, and
good. All right.
on the straight and narrow.
On the straight and narrow. All right. So that album did well. It debuted at number 19 on the Billboard Hard Rock Albums chart, and then the single "Can't Sleep" gave you another rock hit on the radio, and you just kept touring in support of that. In your bio, it says you guys are one of the hardest working independent rock bands out there. So explain to me what that looks like to be a hardworking rock band. Because I think some people just see the concerts and they think, oh, these guys just, they show up for a half an hour a night and play music and that's it. But you guys, there's got to be a lot more to it than that, right?
Yeah. I mean, we stay on the road as much as possible, and we give our all every night. We never half-ass it on stage, Everybody, no matter what you're feeling like every night, those people, they showed up to support you, and they spent their hard-earned money. they went and got babysitters. They made plans. They, you know, they took that moment out of their life to support your dream, you know? So, I mean, we give it our all every night.
And there's more than just showing up and doing that. I mean, you got to practice, and it's also like a lot of promotion for the band, like interviews like this, and you know, the website and all that stuff. I mean, that's a lot of work as well, right?
Yeah, man. And and doing the radio interviews every morning, you know, waking up early and doing morning radio and singing 2 or 3 songs for them, and then coming to VIP and then singing 2 or 3 songs for them, and then doing a 2-hour show, and you know,
it's a lot.
Rinse and repeat, you know.
Right.
And
so
drive 500 miles every night and get it done, you know.
And tell me about this thing that you did. You did the Shiprocked Cruise. That sounds like a pretty cool list of bands. That, I lost you. Hello? Oh, you're back. Okay. You did with so you did the Shiprocked Cruise with Papa Roach, Bullet for My Valentine, Seven Dust, Bad Flower. That sounds like a pretty good lineup. Tell me what it's like doing those cruise. I've never been on one, but they look like so much fun. Is it fun for the bands as well? Oh
yeah, man. It is an absolute blast.
Like how many times do you have to perform?
Our first year on there, we were a featured band, which meant we got our 2 regular sets, and then we were also in what they call the stowaways. So the stowaways is like, it'll be random members from different bands. So like for example, I did and we'll all get together like the first day, and like they'll have a big long rehearsal for everybody, and just play cover songs, and they'll have a couple of different cover sets where all these band members are just kind of intermingling and playing covers together. But
so you got to play with members of the other bands like Papa Roach and Suicidal Tendencies and stuff?
Not necessarily those guys.
Okay.
But, I got to play with CJ, the guitar player from Drowning Pool.
That's nice.
We did a cover of Stone Temple Pilots song, and then our drummer did a song with the singer of Queensryche, you know.
Wow.
And,
is there video of these songs? That sounds good. I want to see that.
I'm sure you can find them out there if you Google Shiprocked.
I looked at some of the covers you've done. I think one of my favorites was the Hunger Strike one that you did with Small Town Titans, I think it was. That was so spot on. That was amazing.
Man. Yeah. That was their idea, man. They asked me to do that.
It's very cool.
They were very, very gracious hosts.
So,
damn near missed my plane home.
That was amazing. So Bon Jovi, the Shiprocked Cruise, you've done these big shows. You did have a bad story about a show though. Tell me about this. You were doing a show in Colorado Springs, and it got down to 3 degrees, and the generator on the bus went out. So you had no heat, no defroster. It was 34 degrees inside the bus. How do you even survive something like that?
We huddled together for warmth. Just we layered up, man. That was a pretty unfortunate night, man. It was a long day the next day trying to fix. So we ended up fixing the generator ourselves. And
wow.
But yeah, just bundled up, man. You could see our breath inside the bus. You know, it was pretty crazy. And then the defroster on the bus was controlled by the generator as well. So we got a old hair dryer, blow dryer out of the back, and just defrosted the windshield by hand, basically.
Wow.
Because we were going through the Rocky Mountain Pass, which is a pretty dangerous road. So
yeah, you got to be careful. That's scary stuff. So
it was a long night for sure.
I bet. So some of these bands that you've done shows with, like Joyous Wolf, I had them on here. What other younger bands have you performed with that stood out? I know, like you said, like Temperance Movement, Blackstone Cherry. Who else? The kind of like I like hearing about newer bands.
There's a band that are some friends of ours that we toured with out of Athens, Georgia, called Lullwater. You should definitely check out. They got a really good like heavy grunge sound for sure. The Southern grunge.
I'll definitely check that out.
Grunge is alive and well in the South for some reason.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Let's see them. There's a band out of Oklahoma City called Kira, and another band out of Oklahoma City called Locust Grove. They're both really good, kind of Pantera type Pantera style metal bands, kind of in that vein of metal.
Okay, I'll definitely have to check those out. Now, when
man, all great bands.
It's very cool. That's why I love discovering the new music because I can play it all on the Spotify. I mean, you can listen to every, which is really cool in a way, but I don't know how good is that for artists? Because you guys have I think I saw you had 9 million streams in 2020. Now that helps get your band name out there, but that doesn't bring in a lot of money, right? With the streaming.
It brings in some money,
Okay.
I mean, it's not nothing. It's definitely not like the days of old in the 80s, when if you sold 9 million records, you'd be a very rich man,
Sure. Sure. Okay. But it's something.
No, I mean, it's not bad. I think there's a good and evil about it, I mean, you might not get paid as much, but it is the quintessential, I mean, you have to be on Spotify, to be heard,
right.
Especially as an unknown band like us, Spotify and Apple Music and those kind of streaming services are they've helped us get our name out there.
Sure. And you get on the playlist is what I'm told. Like when I had this band, the Black Moods, on, they were saying, if you get on those Spotify playlists, that's how people discover you. So that's kind of the big thing to do. Yeah.
That's kind of the new age,
MTV or radio or
MTV radio. Kind of thing, man, is getting on those playlists.
Tell me about this. You guys have a new single out called The End, which is very heavy. Sounds like heavy metal, I would say, even has a guitar solo. So this song is part of an EP called Static. Is this just going to be a bridge in between albums since you can't do the live shows, or is the Static EP going to morph into a full album?
The Static EP was kind of its own thing.
Okay.
It's those 4 songs we recorded while we were doing Under the Sun, and they didn't really fit on the album.
Okay.
Anywhere, So, but we had them and we really didn't know what to do. And I mean, 2020 came around and it's like, well, we can't tour. Let's put out these tunes for everybody.
Okay.
And
so that's just like a bridge, because you do have a full album coming out that's going to be self-titled, right? Just called Blacktop Mojo?
That's correct. We're going to record that in January, actually. We're working on it right now.
Oh. Do you have anything? Can you tell me anything about it? Any song titles or lyrics or themes or anything, or sounds?
It's still kind of taking shape right now. But,
okay.
It's definitely, it'll definitely be a little different.
Okay.
Than I think everybody says that about their new record.
Sure.
I'm excited about it. It's got a little bit of classic Southern rock type of stuff and a little bit of heaviness,
Okay.
I think it's got a good mixture of the two.
Yeah, it'll still sound like Blacktop Mojo though. You're not going to go all too crazy then.
Oh yeah. Okay. No, we're not going like EDM or
Metallica, Lou Reed kind of thing or something like that.
Yeah.
So you list in Facebook, it says you list your political views as make your own decisions and your religious views as be kind. And now a lot of musicians and actors and athletes and famous people I've seen are being very active in politics. Do you feel like you need to play a role in that and take a side? Or is politics something you just want to steer clear of because you might alienate your fans?
I definitely am not well informed enough. I don't feel like to take a side on anything like that, man. And I respect everybody's views, so I don't really want my views to come into play when it comes to them enjoying our music or something like that. I feel like I want our music to be an escape for them. Let's forget about that sort of stuff for now.
Okay.
And
but do you think that
if you want to know what I think, you can listen to the songs and it'll be, make your own interpretation of it,
Yeah. So tell me about that. Cause part of the job of a rock star, it used to be like, kind of, you're like a philosopher, like Jim Morrison or John Lennon. Like, what do you think the most lyrically complex or deep song that you wrote is?
Man, that's a tough question. I don't think I've ever been asked that question. I think maybe, Shadows on the Wall comes to mind from our Burn the Ships album. It's kind of about Plato's allegory of the cave. which is, I don't know if you're familiar with that, but it's these three brothers that are chained up in a cave for their whole lives. And there's a fire burning behind them. And the only thing that they know are the shadows on the cave wall from people walking in between the fire. And then one brother gets loose and he runs out to the mouth of the cave and he sees the sky for the first time and he sees all these colors. And
wow. That's
then he goes back into the he goes back into the cave to tell his brothers what he saw, and they kill him because they don't believe him.
Yeah,
so,
it's been a while. I remember learning about that in philosophy class, but it's been I'll have to reread that allegory of the cave and actually listen to your song too. Read the lyrics.
It's sort of I think a metaphor for everybody staring at their phones. You know, their screens all the time, and you know, you don't know what to. Sometimes you got to look up from that to figure out what's really going on, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Do you think, I know we're doing this Zoom, but if we were in real life, do you think that I could beat you in arm wrestling if I used both hands?
Probably, yeah.
You think, really? I want to try that. I think you could still beat me.
We gotta give it a shot, man.
How much can you like curl with because you got the big biceps.
Hell, man, I don't know. Probably, I did some shoulder workouts with 75s today, so I had to get them up above my head, you know.
So like I said, I heard you do that Temple the Dog, and I think after watching you do that and the way you nailed the Aerosmith, and I've also heard you do Led Zeppelin, spot on. Yeah. And I realized, I mean, you can do it all. Like you're strong, you're manly, you're athletic with the football, you're musical, you're smart because you got a biomedical degree. Like, what is your weakness? Is there anything you're bad at?
I mean, a jack of all trades, master of none. Let's put it like that.
Well, you're definitely a master of singing. Can I put you on the spot? Can you sing right now, or do you have to like warm up and stuff?
I don't know. What do you want me to sing, man?
I've never heard you do Guns N' Roses. What was that? Wait, do that again.
A Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, man.
No, do something cool. Do something. Do Led Zeppelin or Aerosmith or.
You need cool, baby. I'm not fooling.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You're definitely a master. That's amazing. Well, this was a lot of fun. I always like to end with a charity. I think I told you, hopefully I told you. Is there a charity that you guys work with or you want to give a quick shout out to?
Like to give a shout out to the 9 Line Foundation. We've made a donation to them before, but they support veterans that come back that need help.
What is it called again? Sorry.
What's that?
What is the foundation called?
The 9 Line Foundation.
9 Line. Okay, I'll put that in the notes if people want to make a donation or read more about that. That sounds great. Helping veterans. My brother's a veteran, so I always try to help those guys out for sure.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of respect for veterans.
Definitely. Sure. And you've accomplished so much. You got a new album coming out. And I think, did I see that you guys are playing Rockfest this year in Wisconsin with Disturbed and Limp Bizkit and Steel Panther and Joyous Wolf and the Black Moods, I think will be there too. That sounds like a fun. I might have to drive up for that.
Oh yeah, man. As far as I know, man, as long as it holds steady, you know, in 2021, we'll be
right,
there, man.
Okay, cool. Well, I look forward to some shows. Hopefully, if you ever come to Phoenix, I'll definitely come see you guys, and I look forward to the new album.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on.
All right, thanks for doing this. All right, bye.
Yeah,
see ya.
Later.
So Matt James, Blacktop Mojo is the band. Check out the band's website for updates, show information, merchandise, and more. You can stream their music on Spotify or Apple Music or YouTube. Follow them on social media to see what they're up to. If you enjoyed this interview, check out some of the other interviews I've done. A lot of great bands like the Black Moods, Joyous Wolf, Of Limbo, Them Evils. And if you want to support the show, you can follow me on social media, share this episode on social media, and subscribe to the show wherever you listen, whether it be Spotify, iTunes, or YouTube. And that way you won't miss any future episodes. Thank you so much for listening, and remember, shoot for the moon.